are entering Carroll Baker Memory Center and the Friends of Carroll Baker Society's Memorabilia Center. This is opening day. What a beautiful day to do this. When you first come in, you see this lovely welcoming poster from Carroll saying, "Welcome to Carroll Baker Memory Center, home of the Friends of Carroll Baker Society and their Memorabilia Center." Because it was opening day, we thought we'd have some lovely orange carnations. Nothing like fresh flowers. I mean, why not? You don't open a center every day. To the right of that, there's a lovely poster that explains all of Carroll's achievements. Port Medway is her home. Carroll is a multiple winner of Female Vocalist of the Year Awards, Entertainer of the Year Awards, Artist of the Year Awards, Album of the Year Awards, and Best-Selling Album of the Year Awards. There were 14 studio albums and 4 compilation albums and 55 singles. That's why we celebrate her. That's pretty hard to top. Of course, we're glad that you came today. Here's a guest book. Please sign it when you drop in. We'd like to keep a record who's here, and we'd like to say thank you for coming and sharing Carroll's remarkable career. Let's take a walk inside now. I'll walk you through quickly. This tour is not to dissuade you from coming, but to celebrate the joy we had in opening this center, even in its limited capacity to the public today. So here we go. Thanks to Carroll, we got some lovely black and white photographs, framed. As a matter of fact, she sent us 17 of them, and we've placed them on the wall and in the display cases, hoping that they represent and share with the public highlights of her amazing career. When you turn the corner here, there are some interesting things. Here's the platinum record sales for Carroll Baker's album, Hymns of Gold. Platinum, 1994. Down below here, something really interesting. This is a calendar. I'm trying to find the year here, but I think it's 1968? No. I can't tell you because I put my card right over it. Let me read you the card. It says Carroll Baker Memorabilia Center, Irving Station, Mill Village. The Irving Corporation and the Irving family have always been supporters of Carroll's career. Over the years, they have sponsored several of her appearances. The relationship started a generation earlier with Carroll's dad, who built and operated the first Irving station in Nova Scotia. These are the kind of notes that we have put all over the center. These are the little background information that may help you understand Carroll's career and exactly why we are here. Okay, I'm going to take you into the body of the church now. Unfortunately, we can't use this portion of the building until we meet some of the building codes and some of the requirements of the insurance provider, the heritage officer, the development officer. But that doesn't stop me from showing it to you right now. Look at the sun coming in through the windows. Look at that glare. Just beautiful. I love rural churches. I can sit in them for hours and, well, think of the community that built them. In most rural churches, land is given to the congregation, members of the congregation get together, and members of the congregation build the church in which they worship. I'm not sure if that's the case here, but I would kind of like to think that it is. Beautiful building. Beautiful in its simplicity. This lovely aquamarine blue. When you come up here to the front of the church, there's this lovely display of 3 historical Bibles. I like this. This is the history of the congregation. This is the history of this pre-Confederation building. This is the history of a community in worship. That history is explored here as we put on display some of the items used in that worship. If the lighting is right and we can see the stained glass window, not really, but you can see how the Good Shepherd is the focal point of that glasswork, and how it really is sort of a symbol for the whole entire mission of this congregation. It's the light, it's late evening, we're just about to close, so you can't see that in all its splendor. Actually, I'm glad. That's a reason for you to come back. You'll love it. Down here, in the items used by the congregation, we repeat the theme of the Good Shepherd by having this framed picture. We're going to go down the other side of the church now. You know, when I sit in places like this, I kind of think, what would it have been like to sit here and worship on Christmas Eve in 1914 or 1915 or 1939 or 1940? Here you are gathered with your families, worshiping as families, happy, but sad, thinking about your loved ones who may be overseas fighting. So much comes to mind in the glory of these old churches. I think that's why Carroll wanted to save it. It just represents so much calm and peace. I'm going to take a little turn now and show you. On this side of the building, we are not allowed to use it for the Memorabilia Center. No terrible reason. Just we were supposed to open small and we were supposed to use one side of the room, and we're honoring that. So we've taken this side of the room that we can't show Carroll Baker memorabilia, but we have decided to put up a display honoring the history of the church. You'll see everything here from a picture of the Last Supper to the Ladies' Auxiliary's cookbook to minutes of the very first Ladies' Auxiliary meeting where Rosemary Teal, Carroll's sister, is actually listed as a member of the Ladies' Auxiliary. We include the traditional church plate that you see in many churches and the old postcard that was part of a video that I shared earlier in the week. Right by that is another door. I'm not going to open it up and show it to you. It's a classroom. We haven't had time to even sweep the floor yet. But at some point, we're hoping that this room will become the room that will house the material that Carroll is going to loan us that requires extra security, the gold records, the Juno Awards, that kind of thing. On the wall right here, a list of Carroll's achievements in music and television and awards, and probably the most special one, I think even to Carroll herself, was the fact that she was named to the Order of Canada. And we list all of these so that people can get a good overview. On your way out, at the end of the display, is another attempt at fundraising. These CDs were donated by members of the Friends of Carroll Baker Society, and I'll let the note explain it. You can help by donating to the Friends of Carroll Baker Society Memorabilia Center. For every $5 donation, take a free CD as our sign of thanks. These used CDs were donated by members of the Friends of Carroll Baker Society as a fundraising project to help keep the center open and growing. Every little bit helps. To the right of that, some brochures from the Hank Snow Society, the Friends of Hank Snow Society. We are able to cooperate with them, and hopefully you'll be seeing more of that in the future. Down below that, there's an electronic picture frame that contains a whole series of pictures that reflect Carroll's career. If you stood here for 14, 15 minutes, you might see 50 or 60 photographs that cover and reflect that career. Next to the CDs is the donation jar. We're going to go right to the displays now so that you can have an idea of what we have to show the public. This display is a wonderful record of the Juno Awards. In the envelope on the left is the envelope that contains the nominees for Country Female Vocalist. They're listed there, and the card on the right states, and the winner is Carroll Baker. This is a Juno Award ballot from 1988. This display case also contains some of Carroll's cassettes and singles, and even some sheet music for her song, My Turn. The 45s here are very early releases, first editions of Little Boy Blue and 10 Little Fingers. As we slide over here, just want to show you that the Friends of Carroll Baker Society are extremely grateful to the Hank Snow Society for their gift of these 3 display cases. Their addition certainly makes our opening more visually attractive. We look forward to continued interactions between the societies as we work together celebrating the magic of the South Shore. When we come down from that, we see Carroll's Memories of Home. This was her first hit recording that started it all, a regional hit in central Canada, in Ontario. But without this, there would have been no career. Here we have Rosemary Baker singing a song called Who Needs You. This was a 45 RPM, and this song was written by Carroll Baker. This part of the display is going to be dedicated to Carroll as a songwriter, not as a performer. I'll read the card. Carroll has had significant success as a songwriter. Besides penning many of her own hits, she has written songs recorded by several mainstream artists, on loan from Dolly Dunn and Rosemary Baker Teal. Dolly has agreed to give us copies of the CDs that contain her recordings of songs written by Carroll Baker. So that would be Who Needs You, and One is One Too Many, and 1,000's Not Enough. I want to go back to Who Needs You for a minute. Very interesting when you think of Carroll as a songwriter. Here's Rosemary on a 45 and Dolly Dunn on a CD. The song has stood all the decades and changes in technology in between. It was a hit when 45s were the mainstay, and it was a hit again when you got it on CD, or you downloaded it, or you streamed it. This just proves how enduring Carroll's music is, and how it is not only reflective of her career, but still popular today, not just in being made popular, but popular in record sales. Dolly's version of Who Needs You was one of the top-selling records in Canada the year it was released. We're going to go over here now and look at the rest of the displays. These are all very interesting photographs, pictures of Carroll with Pat Boone, pictures of Carroll with Boxcar Willie on the Nashville Network's Nashville Now show. Here's the Tommy Hunter show for Canadian audiences. You'll see Charlie Pride and Carroll there with Tommy Hunter. And here is Carroll with her duet with Eddie Eastman. Eddie Eastman is a singer from Terra Nova, Newfoundland, and he won the Male Country Artist Awards, the Junos, in 1981 and 1983. Over here we have Carroll Baker's studio shots, RCA Victor promo shots. This is a photograph of Carroll that was used on a re-release collection of her early material, and another RCA Victor shot. This is a promo shot from Gaiety Records, which was her first recording company. Here's a second promo shot from Gaiety Records. And here's a Tembo publicity shot. So as Carroll changed record companies, each record company would issue a new promo shot to represent the artist, and that's what these were. This last display case here is interesting and is still in development. This was a poster for Carroll Baker in her own words. That is a musical based on the life of Carroll Baker. Look at the quote. "Every bit of country music I know and breathe and live today came from my dad, Carroll Baker." Beautiful quote. Really shows the strength of Carroll's family roots. That's why we used it for the promo. The play was in rehearsals when COVID-19 restrictions shut us down. It is our hope that we can get back into rehearsals as soon as provincial restrictions allow that. Here is a copy of the 8th draft of the script. And next to that is something that is really interesting. Let me go here first. Designed by Carroll's granddaughter Jordan and distributed by Consuming Styles, this mask has become a real collector's item. If you had to wear a mask during COVID-19, this one shows you could have a little fun while doing it. On loan from Susan King of Spokane, Washington, USA. First of all, let's look at Carroll's granddaughter Jordan as she models the mask. Here's a photo, and here is a photo of the mask. This exhibit is in development because Susan King is actually sending us a mask on loan to the museum from Spokane. So when it arrives, we will include the actual mask in this display case. Here's our big screen TV. Normally this screen would be showing excerpts from concerts that Carroll wanted to share with you. However, the DVD she prepared did not arrive in time for the opening, so I'm using it today just to show some stills of the various PR material we have prepared. But don't worry, on Thursday, Carroll's DVD will be up and running. I'm going to take a little tour here now to our boardroom. Here's where we meet as a society and make the decisions on when and how to open. During the day, when the center is open, it serves as a coffee stop for visitors. Come in, have a cup of coffee on us, sit down, put your feet up, ask us a question about Carroll Baker's career, the Baker family in Port Medway, the Port Medway Baptist Church. If we don't know the answer, we'll just go knock next door and ask them. Somebody in town will know. It's quite possible that in the future, this will be our gift shop. Right now, thanks to Carroll's generosity, we have some albums, CDs, and some tapes for sale. Not much, but it'll grow over time. Wanted to show you what we did in the church to get it ready for today. We took all of the seat cushions and moved them from every second row, every third row, and put them together into the center of the church so that when you looked down the church, everything would be unified. We also took the center section and put the same hymnal, 3 copies of each, in the pew. This gives the church a really nice angle to view it from, where everything is sort of together and symmetrical, and other than me bumping into the display case, everything looks just perfect. Now it's about 5 minutes later since I recorded the earlier section, and this is further back in the church, but you can see the colors of the stained glass window becoming much more vibrant. Now when you go to the side pews, of course, there are no cushions. So beautiful in its simplicity. Oh, by the way, I'm hoping the clock works. Found the key inside the other day. Going to lower it just a tiny bit so that we don't have to stand on a pew to wind it. I wonder how long that's been there. Beautiful building. Absolutely beautiful. Oh, every time I walk through, there's something else I wanted to tell you. Monica suggests that above the classrooms on these spots on both sides of the center is where we should put 5 or 6 mannequins displaying various costumes from the various periods of Carroll's career. We all think it's a great idea. It's a question of how many mannequins can we get. And when they built these classrooms, Are they out of 2x8s or 2x6s, and will they hold the weight of the mannequins and the dresser who has to get up there and dress them? Anyway, lots of opportunity here in Carroll Baker Memory Center. To end this little tour, I want to take you back into the church. Some of you know this and some of you don't. But I just wanted to share it because I'm in awe when I think of it. This is the church. This is the space where Carroll actually sang publicly for the very first time. She was a preteen, singing in worship. But if you ever wonder where did it begin, this is where it began, right here. Can you imagine how special it is to have the Carroll Baker Memory Center and the Carroll Baker's Memorabilia Center in the location where she first sang publicly? Wow, quite a thrill. You need to come down and enjoy it for yourself. You need to come down and experience the joy that is the Carroll Baker Memory Center and the Friends of Carroll Baker Society's Memorabilia Center. It's a much better tour in first person. But as I said earlier, we just wanted to share the opening of this great center with you. Thank you to all the volunteers who helped. It's a miracle that we're even here. It's kind of like the little engine that could. We shouldn't have opened, we shouldn't have opened, we shouldn't have opened. There were many, many things in our way, but we conquered them. The last thing I want to show you is these posters from Carroll's concerts in recent years. I show these to you because Carroll still tours. She still packs the houses. 2 years ago, just before the COVID-19 restrictions, she played 5 sold-out nights in PEI. You may be one of the lucky ones and see Carroll Baker in concert in your town. It's my understanding she's back on tour in 2022. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed this.